So I'm seeing the blame game start to unfold already as it pertains to Donald Trump winning the election. And apparently, right now, people are pointing the finger at Palestinian Americans in Dearborn, or Arab Americans in general, not just specifically Palestinians. Um, and I'm just going to tell y'all straight up in front, it's not their fault that we lost. We did not lose because of Arab voters for Jill Stein. We did not lose because of Arab voters for Trump. We did not lose because of Arab voters for nothing. The people who just sat out the election because they're mad about Gaza. They are not the reason why we lost. They're part of the reason, but not the actual, genuine, literal reason. People pointing fingers on social media over this is absolutely pointless. Now, apparently, there is a trend of Black Americans going to Starbucks in order to mock Palestinian Americans who decided to sit out the election and helped Donald Trump rise to victory. And I mean, honest to God, like, on some level, I understand why a lot of Black people are upset. Black women came out in full support for Kamala Harris, and in exchange for Black women doing that, what did every other minority group do? Fucked it all up. I'm just gonna be honest. Every other minority group fucked it up. Black women showed up, and 90% of Black women voted for Kamala Harris, and in exchange for Black women showing solidarity to every other group, they got the biggest middle finger possible from everyone. Not just Arab voters, but also Latinos in America voted for Trump. Like half, or like a little under half for women, and about half and half for Kamala or Trump. That's insane. 20 something percent of Black men voted for Trump. We have to have a conversation here about the fact that a significant amount of minorities voted for Trump. Did Arab Americans abandoning the vote or voting for Trump look stupid? Yeah, it looks stupid. It is stupid. It's objectively stupid, but it's not their fault. It's just not. The reality is if we're going to start the blame game, and I highly advise we don't do the blame game, I'm of the mind of just letting this stuff play out. The Arab Americans who think that this is a game and that Trump winning is not that big of a deal, or how much worse can it get in Gaza, they're just going to have to learn their lesson. The Hispanic Americans, specifically Mexican Americans who voted for Trump, who have undocumented relatives, they're just going to have to find out. Black folk who voted for Trump. Trump is now calling for reparations, not for us, but for white people who experienced racial discrimination as a result of DEI. Every single minority group that came out in support for Trump is going to have to learn the hard way. So apparently there's a trend of Black folk going to Starbucks, and here's a tweet about it. Black women starting a trend to support Starbucks is insane, based off what one Palestinian American stated, versus a nation of Palestinian people getting bombed to bits by companies, I think she meant bits, by companies such as Starbucks. Your solution as an oppressed group being is to support a company suppressing or oppressing others. Multiple things can be true. Number one, Palestinians in Gaza were like, bro, do not let Trump win. Like, please. A lot of Arab Americans, on the other hand, weren't really interested in stopping Trump from winning. They wanted Kamala Harris to learn a lesson. I believe somebody tweeted out, Kamala, this is Gaza speaking, when she lost. There are a lot of insane people on the left who just engage in the most emotional politics you could possibly conceive of. Not thinking two steps ahead, not thinking about Palestinians in Gaza or Palestinian Americans. It's all just full on emotion. I don't think anybody should be going to Starbucks to gloat or to stick it to the Arab Americans who didn't come through for us. It's pointless. It's absolutely pointless. But I will say this. You cannot ignore the fact that Palestinian Americans and Arab Americans in general did throw it. They threw it. Now, their vote didn't really make a difference. But yeah, like, they did F up. Like, I can't sit here and ignore what they did and what they said simply because people in Gaza are saying otherwise. I know the people in Gaza don't want Trump. They're getting blown up right now. The ones in America, however, were perfectly comfortable putting their brethren at risk to make Kamala Harris and Joe Biden pay. Now we're all finding out because apparently Donald Trump has appointed Mike Huckabee to be in charge of, I believe, what is he, like the ambassador to H? I gotta look it up again. I'm sorry for not being exactly informed today. But Mike Huckabee is someone who believes there's no such thing as a Palestinian. He calls the West Bank Judah and Samaria. These are people who are trying to bring about the end times by making sure Israel completely destroys the West Bank and Gaza. Elections have consequences, and some of y'all are playing with people's lives. For those of you who are supporting what's about to happen as a result of Trump taking a W, stop. Please don't go to Starbucks and gloat about it. If you're going to go to Starbucks, do your thing. We all have, we're all going to drink coffee. We're all going to drink tea. We're all going to do our thing. Go on about your life. But the whole gloating stuff, this has to stop. The infighting on the left has to stop. Black women have every right to be angry. Like, Trump didn't hide anything. Trump made it abundantly clear what he was about, what he was going to do, etc., etc. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like black women are wrong for being angry at everybody. But this kind of like blame game stuff, guys, like this can't be a consistent theme with us. It just can't. It just cannot be a consistent theme. And again, I'm going to say this, for those of you who are playing this game of Kamala's going to learn her lesson and, blah, blah, blah. Bro, the only people who are going to learn are minorities. You are going to learn. Kamala's not learning it. Kamala Harris may be a minority, but she's incredibly wealthy and powerful. She's fine. She will be just fine. She's from a blue state. She'll probably go back to California. She's rich. She's wealthy. She's got connections. She'll be okay. Average, everyday minorities will not be okay. Arab Americans will not be okay. Trump literally sat there and threatened to deport people who supported Hamas in the United States, citizens or otherwise. They're literally in the process of trying to denaturalize people right now. This idea that you taught Kamala a lesson, no, you didn't. This idea that you taught, Islamophobes a lesson, you didn't. You just gave them the keys to the kingdom, is what you did. I'm not going to hold back punches. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, in your heart, you felt like you were doing the right thing. I don't really care about what anyone feels. People's lives are at stake. Okay? The Affordable Care Act is on the line. The citizenship of people born in America is on the line. Rights for minorities on the line. People in Gaza on the line. All of that was on the line, and some of you were perfectly comfortable risking all of that because you wanted to teach the Democrats a lesson. And I'll tell you what it is. A lot of y'all seem to be under the impression that Kamala Harris would win, but she would be missing quite a few votes, and that when it was all said and done, you'd be able to hop on the internet and say, Kamala, those votes you're missing, that was us. So next time, when you run again, keep in mind, we can make sure you lose. That's not what happened. Arab Americans are not the reason why we lost. I'm just going to keep saying this. Multiple things can be true. What Arab Americans did was peak retardation. I think out of every single group that was like upset this year, Arab Americans are just I don't know who's more stupid. Arab Americans, Latino Americans, or Black Americans. Trump announcing reparations for white folk literally days after being elected, that's crazy. Blacks for Trump, you look retarded. Latinos for Trump, a lot of y'all are going home. And I don't mean the country you were born in. I mean the place your illegal grandparents are from. And Arab Americans, it's over with. I think this might be the absolute end of the Arab-Israeli conflict for good. Well, yeah, I guess so. Well, no, because Yemen can still fire rockets. This will be the end of the Israeli-Palestinian conflict for sure. It's over with. It's done. This is it. I don't know who looks more stupid. I don't know, man. I feel like black folk, we look the dumbest because we know better. Like a lot of Arab Americans, sure, they faced racism after 9/11, but it's nothing compared to what we're familiar with. I'm not gonna lie, we kind of look the dumbest. But then again, like to watch your people get blown up and like help facilitate the victory of the guy who said blow them up more, not gonna lie. But then to vote for a nigga who literally told you he's getting you out of the country. Damn, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know, chat. In the comment section below, tell me which demographic you think fucked up the most. So we're going to read the article about Arab Americans teaching Kamala a lesson. They blew it. Democrats lost 22,000 votes in Michigan's heavily Arab American cities. Trump's courting of Arab American voters and the Biden-Harris Gaza policy turned votes away from the Democrats. Not gonna lie, Trump is one of the most brazen people on earth. This man sits there and tells these people, I will make the lives of your brethren worse. I will destroy them. He just shows up in Dearborn. Trump, bro, if nothing else, Donald Trump is the most brazen man to ever live. Knowing he said this shit, he still showed up in Michigan and said, I'll end the war. He doesn't tell the part, I'll end you. I'll end your people. He doesn't say that part. I'll end the war. I'll put it to rest. I'll put your people to rest. He didn't say that part. I'll put your people to rest. It's crazy. He just shows up there brazenly. I know for a fact there were some Arabs there that were like, bro, there's no way this nigga's here right now. Like, this. Kamala Harris received at least 22,000 fewer votes than Joe Beasy did 4 years ago in Michigan's most heavily Arab American and Muslim cities, a Guardian analysis of raw vote data in the critical swing state finds. The numbers also showed Trump made small gains, about 9,000 votes across those areas, suggesting Harris's loss there is more attributable to Arab Americans either not voting or casting ballots for third-party candidates. That Jill Stein shit is just beyond my comprehension. Arab Americans, y'all know better. I'm not about to treat y'all like you haven't been here for longer than a day. You've been here for long enough to know that third-party shit is retarded. We had two options. Okay? This like idea that Kamala Harris could have stopped funding to go, like, let me just break this down. For those of you who are going to get in the comment section saying she funded a genocide, that's not how fiscal policy works in the United States. And this is one of the main reasons why I got really upset with pro-Palestine protesters, was because y'all kept trying to pick your targets. And what I mean by that is some of you know full and well that when it comes to fiscal policy in the United States, the president is not completely in charge. Congress comes up with fiscal legislation. They come up with funding, okay? The president could veto it. The problem is the majority of Democrats and Republicans, MAGA or not, support Israel. Meaning, Harris and Biden could be overturned by Congress. Furthermore, the war in Gaza is not just Israel blowing up homes in the Gaza Strip. It's also Israel fighting Hamas, fighting a terrorist organization, Hezbollah. Also, Hamas is a terror organization. The Houthis firing rockets, Hezbollah firing rockets. The Houthis attacking cargo ships, Iran fire. Like, this idea that we can just sit there and say, okay, Israel, yes, our geopolitical enemies are attacking you. We're going to just like leave you to solve this one on your own. And if Russia or China come to your aid and end up becoming buddies with you, we'll just take that loss. No, like that. No, like what you were asking for was one, impossible, and two, stupid, which is why you didn't get it. And instead of taking what we could have gotten, a lot of you guys contributed to the victory of a man who wants to go to war with Iran, wants Gaza gone, doesn't give a fuck about Lebanon. I don't know what to, like, I'm not gonna sit here and coddle y'all. Like, bro, like, all that coddling shit is over with. A lot of y'all made a choice. And I said before, Arabs are not the reason why we lost. But for those of you who think you're teaching Americans a lesson, Kamala a lesson, the Democrats a lesson, the only people that are about to learn is you. Joe Biden's an old man. He'll probably retire in peace, hopefully, if Donald Trump allows him to. Kamala Harris the same way. Y'all didn't do shit to anybody but yourselves. Blacks who voted for Trump, Latinos who voted for Trump, Arabs who voted for... Bro, no one's learning a lesson here but you. This idea that you taught somebody something today or in the last week is false. Okay? The progressive movement is way too babyish. It's too soft. You helped the person win who wants to wipe out Gaza. The end. Okay? You knew full and well that people in Congress that are MAGA and Republican voted for Israel to receive funding. You never protested Trump. You never protested MAGA. Y'all didn't do that, though. Y'all didn't protest MAGA, despite the fact that MAGA people in Congress helped fund the war in Israel. You didn't care. You didn't care. You didn't want to protest that because you were afraid of being beat up by MAGA. Let's just keep it 100. You were afraid of being attacked and beat up by Trump supporters, so you stuck with Kamala Harris. All these Democrats in office who aren't saying anything about the conflict. I think maybe AOC, Tlaib, Cori Bush, the squad were the only ones saying anything. The rest of the Democrats, silence. The majority, if not all of the Republicans, silence. You know what they all had in common? Support for Israel. And y'all said nothing about the Republicans. They get off scot-free no matter what they do. I'm not playing with y'all anymore, bro. Y'all like pro-Palestine people. I don't have a problem with pro-Palestine, bro. I don't. I don't think Palestinians, I'm not, like, bro, Palestinians using violence makes sense. If someone's settling your land in the West Bank, you probably should shoot at them. Just keep it at 100. The problem is, y'all wanted everybody to crash out over Gaza. That's just not realistic. That's not going to happen. Not only that, you don't win if we all crash out. You're in America. And an ethno-fascist party has now taken over the country. You don't win. Gaza for damn sure isn't winning. But yo ass, you about to find out too. Look, bro, like I'm keeping it real. I'm not gonna sit here and lie and just pretend and misrepresent things and try my best to lie to accrue favor with progressives and say things that y'all want to hear. I'm going to be blunt and honest with y'all. No, you did not teach Kamala a lesson. No, you didn't teach America a lesson. Everyone lost like a few days ago. Not a few days ago, but you know, everyone lost last week. Everyone lost last week. No one won. Not even the people who voted for Trump won. They're about to find out soon too. But y'all have to stop blaming Arabs for the loss. You have to stop celebrating at Starbucks that XYZ thing is happening. It's just stop. I understand that black people are tired of being the one demographic that takes this Trump shit seriously. I understand that a lot of y'all are upset about that. But again, that's just not... We have to stop being so emotional. We have to stop browbeating people. We have to stop. I will say this much. Liberals, progressives, this shit is not a game, bro. Y'all niggas think this shit is a game. I can go on and on about how unbelievably ignorant and childish Trump supporters are, but some of y'all are right next to them, bro. Some of y'all think this shit is a joke. Those of you talking about Gaza this, Gaza that, your fellow Americans are about to lose their fucking health care, and you're talking about Gaza. Your fellow Americans are about to have their history wiped from books and erased because it makes certain people uncomfortable, and you're worried about Gaza. Your fellow Americans are about to have their right to marry who they want stripped away from them, and you're worried about Gaza. Your fellow non-Christian Americans are about to have Christianity forced down their throats in schools, and you're worried about Gaza. At some point, y'all have to become team players, bro. And I'm not talking specifically to the Palestinian Americans and the Arab Americans, because their votes didn't sway this shit. Those of you who sat this shit out to make a moral grandstand, you're an idiot. And bro, like I'm about to make a video next about Latinos for Trump and blacks for Trump, because y'all are up next, bro. I hate y'all. I'm really frustrated with y'all, because bro, like why? Seriously, why? The Arabs, they're not the reason why we lost, bro. No matter how mad y'all might be about the pro-Palestine movement and how loud they were and how irrational they were, them niggas is not the reason why we lost, bro. I could sit here and pretend to try to take some heat off my community or take heat off the Latino. No, I'm gonna keep it 400. I'm gonna keep it real with you. White women, black men, and Latinos, you fucked it up. You are the reason why we lost. The end. You're the reason why the entire country lost. It's your fault. But that's the last time I'm gonna really engage in like the whole it's your fault thing. I will be making videos clowning other demographics for how they effed up. But bro, y'all knew what this shit was. I saw apparently like some like organization, some Lebanese Arab organization, sent Trump a letter congratulating him for his victory and asking him to follow through on his promise to end the war. I'm stuck in a country with idiots, and it's not even the Arabs. Like that letter is peak retardation, but at least it's minimal retardation. Like in terms of like numerically speaking, the Arabs are not the problem. It's you, the non-Arab American. You were the problem. Oh my god, Like, imagine the nigga spends a whole year saying he'll blow you up or blow up your people, and you send him a letter congratulating him, thanking him for his victory, and encouraging him to keep his promise. The nigga promised the opposite of what you're asking for. Oh my God. My God. Latinos for Trump, thinking that Trump's not going to deport them. He's talking about the criminals. Nigga, if you're here illegally, you by default are a criminal. Bro, at the end of the day, it is what it is. We'll all collectively find out together. We'll regroup, we'll resupply, we'll figure out what to do next. But right now, I think the only way blacks for Trump, Latinos for Trump, white women for Trump, and Arabs for Trump are going to learn is for these MAGA niggas to have their field day. Let them enact all the discriminatory policies. Let them deport people. Let them wild out for a little bit, just so you guys can learn and realize. Because it seems like even black men are starting to forget how real this shit is. Only black women stood strong. That's crazy. It is what it is. Let the video like, comment, subscribe. I'm out.